everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. It's just as I finish my mission marathon grind, now Wargaming have surprised us with a roadmap and a sneak peek for what's coming up over the next few months. So without further ado, let's take a look to see what they've got cooking on their roadmaps video highlights. And just to clarify, if you want to see this without my terrible commentary, please check it out on Wargaming's official channel. So take it away.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael and we are back for the third episode of the roadmap highlights. I know it's summer, I know it's very hot, but nevertheless we are putting a lot of effort into developing your favorite game. Today Alexandra and I want to show you the latest updates from the World of Tanks development team, so please stay tuned as we have a lot of good news to share with you. There's a lot of content that we are sharing with you guys in this video, but I still want to point out that very soon we are releasing the British medium vehicles.
Bring it on.
Enrich the gameplay and will cause a lot of cool situations within the battlefield.
Enrich the gameplay? Oh, I mean, that could be a little bit controversial with what the World of Tanks player base thinks about wheeled vehicles. But yeah, they're definitely going to have new aspects, so it should be interesting to see what wheeled vehicles will bring to the meta. I'm not sure people really like what the French wheeled vehicles did, but from the statistics that I've seen about the British wheeled mediums, they don't really look like they're going to be crazy like the EBRs.
I can't wait until you guys can try those out.
Me too. Me too. And this should be happening soon, right? Oh my god. Wargaming hacking the system. Breaching in. Feeding us all the tank content that we want. What have we got?
Hello everyone. Great to have you back.
Thank you.
Today we've got some exciting updates for you. Let's dive right in.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure many of you remember the Buffin Trager and Mirny 13 events.
Yes.
Well, we've got more updates and juicy details to share on these modes
Tell
and
us.
more.
Please.
And for those of you craving something fresh, we've got just the thing.
What's that?
Introducing Overwhelming Fire, an exciting event featuring the AUTOCANNON's mechanic.
Which we saw on the test server.
On the Japanese heavy tanks.
What do you mean more? What do you mean more updates on the new Japanese heavy tanks? I haven't heard anything about the Japanese heavy tanks apart from they've been on Blitz. So, okay, just casually throwing in new Japanese heavy tanks into the mix. This is looking like an exciting episode.
Fire is intended to be a fun mode and all about what if.
Yeah.
It's about experimentation and crazy ideas at its very core.
I like the voiceover from Ikabu.
AUTOCANNON.
Okay. What if there was an autocannon artillery? I think instantly people just became a little bit very concerned about the overwhelming fire game mode. Auto-firing artillery, no thank you. They're like the Calliope rockets or whatever they are. Oh, that's terrifying. If anyone's played RTS games, they'll know just how scary those kind of tanks are or vehicles are.
We intend for this mode to be more of an enhancement to our usual fun events.
Okay.
Finding new and fancy ways we can experiment and play with new mechanics and weird tank combinations. Like this abomination, the AUTOCANNON.
Okay. I mean, oh god, please no.
For the event, you will be able
What would it be like? Will it be like an auto-loading KV2? Is that what it's going to be like? Are people just going to be there driving in circles around you with like an auto-loading KV2? Imagine the critical damage that you're going to receive from that. Imagine the noise. You're going to have to get new headphones.
Drive and experiment with 8 different vehicles.
8 vehicles.
We will have all sorts of cannons.
Oh no, of course they've put a wheeled vehicle in. What's this? Some kind of like flak BZ-176. That looks terrifying.
And gun types for all, each with their own interface and
a double-barrel TVP. Oh my! Looks like you are going to be able to try the auto rockets. Oh my word, that's terrifying.
Which means you have to ask yourself just one question: do I feel lucky?
Yeah.
Do you?
Always.
And before any of you start getting overexcited,
luck is believing you're lucky,
these
right?
tanks are intended to be fun and experimental only.
I mean, I think that it could be kind of fun to maybe just have like one that goes in as like a premium, see if it actually works within the game. But the real problem with that is how, if you were to put one of these tanks into the game, would you put them into the matchmaker? Because would there have to be another one on the enemy team like they do with wheeled vehicles? Or is it going to be a case of they would just have big balancing issues? I like the way they're saying like intended to be fun and experimental only, but trust me, when Wargaming are never doing things just for fun, unless it's kind of like the 8-bit game mode like we had back in the day.
Not a precursor or plan for future tank release and designs for the live server.
I honestly think that the player base is probably going to be like, oh, that's disappointing. Because, like, it's not fun, really. But at least for me, it's not fun to just hold down your mouse button rather than click every 6 seconds. It's like a lot of people would prefer to play, like, Pharah in Overwatch than play kind of like, I don't know, some of the other people who have auto cannons, right?
Sorry to ruin your dreams of role-playing as an A10 Warthog on tracks.
That's disappointing. You smashed my dreams, Ikubo. I'm not happy about it. That's all there is to say. Ruined my vibe. Okay. I like the way that they've all got autocannons, but the Jagdpanzer E100 is still like RAM.
Get ready for the awesome Waffentracker game mode. It's crazy, chaotic, and a fun experience.
And we've done it like 4 times already.
Melinda is back, and she's all set to create mayhem on the battlefield.
Yeah, let's pause. So that's her father, Max von Krieger.
Already know her, but if not, you'll quickly get to know this infamous driver and her legendary tank.
Melinda's got good voice acting.
To Hannelore, Melinda's older sister.
Here we go. Hannelore, Rita, Melinda's older sister. She's German. She's unknown. Her intellect is very high, apparently. Okay. I'm sure that a few people in YouTube comments are claiming that as well. Although I would contest.
The also has a new commander, Jana, to aid the fight against the machinations of Maximilian Leonard von Krieger Witthofen Baron zu Liedenberg.
Yeah, those names.
This game mode will feel like a blast from the past for our experienced players.
That's not a good thing.
With new exciting twists and updates to keep things fresh.
Yeah, fresh.
If you're a newer player, get ready for some wild and enjoyable mayhem in this mode.
It's okay. It's fine. You know, last Waffentrager event's always cool, but you know, Wargaming are really bringing back the loot crates, and last year they actually created Mayhem because they brought the WT Alfie 100 back as a rental from the loot crate, so you could play 50 games in the WT Alfie 100. So a lot of people who were trying to 3-mark played it then, or people who just wanted to experience what it was like. I don't think the WT Alfie 100 broke the matchmaker, and so if they do bring that tank back as a rental, I'm all for it. I'm going to go get in like a T49, get in a few tanks that have really good HE pen, or not even that good HE pen, but just have good HE guns, and really go to town on the WTs. But I have to admit, the WTs also they're toxic for the matchmaker as well, in a way, but they weren't as broken as they were when they were first introduced 10 years ago. What else? Murney.
We heard your request.
Yes.
And we're thrilled to announce the return of Murney 13.
Good, because it wasn't here last year.
Highly anticipated game mode.
Cool.
This upcoming episode will serve as the epic conclusion to the currently planned trilogy.
Oh, it was a trilogy.
The future of the town of Murney remains uncertain.
So this might be the final chapter of Murney.
Have new enemies and bosses this year.
Good.
Like in previous years, they will be mobile, agile, and hostile.
Fantastic.
They will be cunning and full of menace.
Wow, yeah.
The Immortal, with its amazing soundtrack, will make a return.
Cool.
But he's got some backup this year.
What is it? What is the backup?
Boss for players to face at each of the 3 different difficulty
That's
levels.
good. That's good.
I can't share their official names yet.
Huh.
You can say hello to Rob and Fluffy.
Rob and Fluffy. Okay. So I'm not sure if kind of like the Overlord or the previous one, the Behemoth, whatever you want to call it, is going to be the main boss, but they're obviously going to be like a couple of different difficulties. This one, I bet you this one's... I can't imagine that they're going to have like the Overlord not for the hardest difficulty, so this is probably going to be for the more casual players. I would honestly like it if they made it even harder than last year. I thought it was quite fun to have, well, not last year, but 2 years ago. I think from the difficulty perspective, it was really fun to go against the big bad boss. I'd be a little bit disappointed if they don't increase the difficulty a little bit more personally.
Find them a little less intimidating with these names, and perhaps you want to drop a comment down below and give us your nickname for these beautiful new creations. The plan is that these different bosses at different levels will keep the gameplay challenging, but not repetitive, as you develop your skills and tactics playing the mode.
Fantastic.
Remember, the key to success is to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge those enemies. We're also going to introduce new mechanics that will allow you
I think the plan for me is to kill them all as quickly as I possibly can. Not duck, dive, dodge, and dip. Just go crazy and farm everything.
Deal with these dynamic and dangerous moments, like the ability to become invisible to the enemy or improve your reload speed.
Trust me, That happens in the random queue in World of Tanks. If you don't shoot people, I think probably about 50% of the players, you're invisible to them anyway, even if you're showing up on the minimap. So I'm glad that they're like role-playing from the random queue there. Okay, so you can go cloak and then deliver a shot. That's quite nice for being able to come around a corner and delivering a fatal blow to one of the more tricky enemies. I like that.
Nice conclusion to the story arc for our characters. But again,
I don't really care about that stuff.
It's not the first time we've been surprised by the Immortal.
Okay. Yeah, I like that they're doing little extra stuff, but I don't really care about that. For me, it's the gameplay.
Many thanks to all of you who took part in testing in the last recon mission.
Nice.
By the end of the year, you can expect to see random events in random battles.
No.
With a special Maps in Development tag. Once you are in the battle, to disable these maps from appearing in your map pool.
Great.
As they're enabled by
Nice.
default.
So it's going to be like Assault.
This new generation
That's
of
nice.
maps should make random battles more dynamic.
That's
as
good.
the events can launch at any time during the battle, usually in the first half, though they may not happen at all.
I like that as well. So as I've been suggesting with all of like the dynamic events and everything that happens, they shouldn't be predetermined, because then it just means that the battle is like a script that you just go through. I've always thought that it could add to the game if they either happen randomly to mix it up a little bit, or alternatively, if you were to actually have trigger events. Let's say that the battle's reached like the 5-minute mark or the 10-minute mark on Prokhorovka, and there's no, and each team still has 12 tanks left. Then like it triggers it, for example, or it speeds up the battle. That for me would be quite interesting. I like the fact that Wargaming are making it so that you can just disable the feature if you don't want to play the battles. And so I think everyone will be happy. People who want to add that variety to the game will be happy, and people who just don't want to touch it will also be happy because they like the classic World of Tanks. So good job, Wargaming.
The objects and effects of random events will be more detailed and spectacular than they were in Recon Mission.
Whoa.
In some places, they will substantially change the map landscape, and here you can see the difference in the events on Himmelsdorf. The event zone will be significantly improved visually, and instead of the red line, there will be red fog, which indicates a dangerous zone.
Okay.
The event zone will be changed as well, with the vehicles inside the zone destroyed only if they interact with the big main object.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
if an object crashes directly on top of your tank.
That's cool.
If an object or its debris falls near your tank, the tank won't be damaged.
That's fantastic.
This means you will have a chance to survive if you don't leave the zone in time.
That's great. I like
that. The way
that.
the event also triggers during the battle has been refined, and based on the testing and feedback, we hope that this should make the event occurrence more dynamic and not obstructive.
The question is do you trust Wargaming and their physics? Do you trust Wargaming and their physics? That I've seen some dodgy things happen in World of Tanks over the last 10 years. Can you imagine if some of the rubble just randomly flies across the map and lands on a player? I mean, they'll be like, what? It's war, right? Goodness gracious. I can imagine there's going to be some stupid stuff happening with that. Map improvements.
We have a lot of staff and resources currently invested in working on our new generation of maps. But we have not forgotten about old maps and the need of continual work and rebalance. We have around 10 maps being rebalanced to improve the gameplay experience on all
10
of
out
them
of 40 of the maps. That's a lot.
The win chance for both teams.
That's fantastic.
Some of the maps will see some large changes.
Interesting.
Others will receive much smaller adaptations.
Sure.
Depending on what the performance data shows, and of course on your feedback. Here's more details.
Okay, show us.
Mountain Pass will see the biggest changes.
Of course.
The heavy tank encounter zone will be expanded.
Wow.
With both balconies on the dominating heights reworked.
That's interesting.
Several new pieces of cover will also be added.
Oh, wow. Look at that. More of an opportunity to push through the valley.
Change for both teams. For
What's
instance,
that?
We will reduce the opportunities to fire from and be fired upon when leaving the spawn from both sides of the map.
Whoa, okay. They made it worse for light tanks.
The Yansky map will also be improved.
How interesting. It doesn't look like they've actually touched the hill, as far as I could tell. Like the hill that creates ridiculous situations in Kolobanov's medals.
In a lot of ways. Starting with an expansion of the factory area to make the left side a little stronger.
I quite liked this map.
Use their armor more effectively in more positions.
I can understand that they want to make it so that heavy tanks have more of an opportunity to push through. That's fine, I understand. But I quite like this map. I don't think every map needs to cater to heavies. The game is already so kind of like heavy meta that I don't think that they need to just keep grinding tanks, grinding maps into ways that work for heavies, in my opinion.
And the village was also widened. The do or die ditch will better protect against fire from the spawn.
Wow, look, you can actually expand. You can I like that because now you're going to be able to reach like here or here and spot all of the people who camp at the back. I like that. That's cool. That's cool.
On Oyster Bay, the lines of fire for artillery and the positions of sniping and ambush tanks will be better balanced.
Okay, so they're making it even easier to shoot. Wow,
With
that's
some
brutal.
Improvements also made to their initial routes when leaving the spawn.
Huh.
Other maps that will receive some love are Fisherman's Bay, Morovanka.
They're not even showing us. Whoa.
Live Oaks.
Wow.
Wakefield,
Okay.
Ents.
I don't want them to change Ensk, honestly. I think that's a terrible idea. Siegfried
We
Line.
also saw a lot of
Honestly, why are they not changing? I mean, I don't know what you all think. Put in the Twitch chat right now, what is like your most hated map? The maps that I struggle with are maps like, I don't like what they did to Airfield. I don't really like Paris. Those are my two maps. Airfield and Paris, for me, are the maps that I feel like are probably the least fun to play in the game at the moment. I don't see any adjustments to Paris. They don't want to adjust it. Maybe they feel like it's a feature map, or maybe they're even going to think about removing it from the game, which I think would be a shame.
and curiosity about new tanks from our last video. We
Okay.
felt it important to give you a very early sneak peek into the Japanese heavy tanks line.
Oh, I love new tanks! If that wasn't obvious enough.
The new line of tanks under development will be very different from the current Japanese heavy tanks that end in the Type 5.
Okay, so you heard it here first. Uncheck accelerated crew training in your Chi-He, as you're going to have to get the Mitsu 108, the Type 3 Ju-Nu, the Type 4 Ju-To, the Type 57, the Type 68, and the Type 71. Outrageous. Wow, these are all heavies.
71 line will look far more modern and technologically advanced.
Huh, what a
And I'll
crazy
say
barrel.
personally, I love the look of these new tanks.
Yes.
Even as an appreciator of big boxy straight line designs.
Wow, that one kind of looks almost like an Object 279E or like a 257 kind of design. What are they going to do though?
New tanks will combine mobility
Yeah?
and protection and feature adjustable hydro-pneumatic suspension
Huh.
on the higher tier vehicles.
Wow.
More importantly, of course, they will
Hydro-pneumatic
be equipped with a
suspension,
cool new
like
gun
the
mechanic.
SW1.
The gun cooling
Oh.
mechanic gives you a choice
Oh.
of either firing quicker with regular accuracy
Yeah?
or waiting a little longer before firing and being rewarded with noticeably improved default accuracy. The cooldown time is slightly longer than the reload time.
Sorry, what?
Default accuracy of these heavies will be comparable to the other heavies of the same
A whole new
tier,
mechanic.
with the mechanic applied to certain vehicles of the line.
Wow.
Combining this new gun mechanic with adjustable suspension systems, you should be able to experience a different type of gameplay than what you would normally expect from a heavy tank line.
So hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong, but just to summarize, so they're saying they're going to have hydro-pneumatic suspensions, and then you have a choice of basically becoming an auto-loader with, or like a very fast-firing tank with bigger dispersion. So you're telling me you can either like have low DPM and high accuracy, or you can just have like really good DPM but bad accuracy. In close quarters combat, of course, you want the higher DPM, right? But then when you're sniping at long range, you want to have the accuracy. That sounds outrageous. Can't wait to try it out, though, see if it's going to be balanced. This is going to be a hard one to balance, I feel.
The goal for these tanks is to be versatile, fun,
Mediums.
and not frustrating to play with or against. You will see more information.
Is that the goal, is it? To make them fun to play against and fun to play and not make them frustrating. Okay, that one got me good. Oh my lord, okay. That'll be a first for Wargaming, let me tell you.
As these tanks head to super test during September.
Okay, super
and
test
as we
September.
get ever closer to their release after the British wheeled medium vehicles.
Wow. So it'll be interesting to try and figure out. Obviously, British wheeled mediums are before. Do you think that those are going to be the January release? You know, is this like an autumn roadmap, or are the Japanese heavies going to be like a January release? Usually what Wargaming do is they have the Holiday Ops event. They introduce like a celebrity. You go and you grind through. You buy some loot boxes, which now you seem to do every 3 months throughout the year. I wonder if we're going to see like the Japanese heavies before or after January. It'd be very interesting. Maybe if they're like showing them to us now, we might even get them before the January period, which would be very cool. Okay, what's this?
We know many of you have been asking for updates about what's happening with the crew since we last announced any details.
Yes.
Following that last announcement, we have been working hard on putting your feedback into action.
Okay.
We're still in early development phase, so the changes will come live in spring next year at the earliest. But we want to share these important details with you now.
Okay, so firstly, I massive props to Wargaming for actually doing something about Crew 2.0 and actually giving themselves enough time. We're going to be talking about an entire year that effectively Wargaming pushed back Crew 2.0, and I think for the better. We don't need the game to be destroyed right now because we want it to be changed, right? Because there'd be no game less. So that'll be really interesting to see what Wargaming are going to do with the next iteration of Crew 2.0.
We will remove below 100% trained crews in order to make the player experience with crews more convenient and friendly.
Wow.
All crews will start with a 100% training on the vehicle they are trained in. We are aware many players have invested time and energy in their crews, especially when it comes to training them. The XP that was earned training 50% crews up to 100% will be added to the crew experience pool.
Wow.
This change in tank training level means that you will no longer be able to transfer crew to a standard tech tree tank that they are not trained for.
Interesting. Okay, so you can't move a crew to a standard tech tree tank. That's a little brutal, because it was always nice when you wanted to grind through like tier 1, 2, and 3, and 4, sometimes for a new tech line, to take your tier 10 crew from another line and just whack them in there and just play through a few. So you're not going to be able to do that at all. But it's probably better to play with a 100% crew that starts with like a fresh set of crew skills than it would be to suffer like the 25% penalty if it was the same nation and same type. Or like the 50% penalty if it's the same nation but not same type. So all in all, I think that's a great change. I like the fact that Wargaming are going to make it so all the casual players don't have to play with 50% or 75% crews. Great change there from Wargaming. And I think it's also nice that all of the crew training that we did is going to be added with crew skills. I think that's just a fantastic change by Wargaming. I think they've realized that that part of the economy doesn't actually make them much money. It just basically means that new players don't bother playing their game. So in my opinion, big thumbs up from Wargaming. I think that's a fantastic change in my opinion. Yeah, 100% crews will be free now, as far as from what I understand in this video, and it looks like all of your old crews will get melted down to crew books, and you'll start with 100% crew, and then you'll be able to just enjoy them from there. So I personally think that's a great change.
That they are not trained for.
It's okay that you can't move them into tech trees, but you'll still be able to move them into reward tanks and premium tanks. So don't worry.
We have also been working on a brand new info page that will provide you with an overview of the upcoming events, updates, and features in the next several months of World of Tanks.
Great.
This should help you see important upcoming events and help ensure you don't miss anything you'll find cool and exciting.
That's nice.
I know in particular, this will be welcome for any campaign players. Make sure to check out this new feature that will help you keep up to date with all upcoming updates and events with all your tanking needs.
Fantastic. Great, so good stuff. Oh, vehicle rebalance just at the end.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. And before you go on your well-deserved summer holiday, I want to assure you that we are working on a very sensitive and important topic constantly, which is vehicle rebalancing. Unfortunately, I have no information that I can share with you right now, since there's a lot of work going on and a lot of discussions, and we really want to get it right. But rest assured that in the next upcoming months, you will get an update on the latest development on this stage. In the meantime, I want you to hit like and subscribe so you're not missing out on any new content that we're releasing.
That's true.
Please leave comments and questions in the comment section about all the topics that we just shared together with Alexandra. I'm looking forward to see you in the next episode.
Thank you, Michael.
Have a great summer. Let's stay in touch.
Thank you, Michael. Awesome. Well, that was a great episode. So, holy moly, so much crazy stuff. Removal of the crew penalty, new Japanese heavy tanks with a new kind of gun mechanic where you're either going to be able to use damage per minute or you're going to be able to use accuracy, map improvements. Random events are going to be optional now for you to be able to decide whether you want to play. New bosses in Murney, the Waffenträger events going to return, overwhelming fire. That is a lot of good stuff to look forward to for, looks like, the rest of 2023, but also with regards to the crew changes, what's going to be happening next year as well. So thank you very much to Wargaming for their continued development of the game. Yeah, I think we've got quite a few interesting things to look forward to. And I thought from this video as well, it didn't just feel like a list of, you know, we're going to bring Murney back. We're going to bring the last Waffenträger event back. We're going to bring Steel Hunter back. No one really cares about those. But the fact that they've got like overwhelming fire, the fact that the random events will be hitting the game, the map improvements, the new Japanese heavies, and they're also giving for the new players with regards to the removal of the crew penalty, that gets a big thumbs up from me. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching this video, and thank you very much to Twitch chat for putting up with me actually making a YouTube video when I'm meant to be streaming and actually playing the game. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down, and let me know about what you think of all of these changes in the comments down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and I'm reading Twitch chat as they say goodbye to everyone. And hopefully I'll see you soon.